On with Governor Andrew Cuomo's resignation, what's next for his accusers now is one of the questions many are asking. And could the governor still face charges?
Joining us now is attorney Gloria Allred. She is representing some of the governor's accusers. Gloria, good morning to you. I know it's early where you are, but we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Okay, so we spoke with you last week, and boy, what a difference a week makes. I want to get, first of all, your response to the governor's resignation yesterday.
Well, how the mighty have fallen. It's been long overdue for the governor to resign after the New York Attorney General's stinging report on the allegations made by numerous women that he had sexually harassed them. And my client, Sherry Ville, and I, Sherry being one of the many victims of Governor Cuomo, because he grabbed and kissed her without asking for her permission or consent inside of her home and then outside of her home when he was visiting to see the flood damage that had been inflicted on her home. And, you know, she had called on him to resign, and I had called on him to resign some time ago. So it took a long time.
Right.
But finally, it's happening in 2 weeks, and that's great.
You know, so you're representing three, right? And so the governor is still denying the most serious accusations against him. During his press conference yesterday, he even directly spoke to his daughters, and he said that there are generational and cultural shifts, I'm quoting him here, that I just didn't fully appreciate and I should have. What are those that you represent saying about that kind of response?
Well, I mean, first of all, you know, Sherry is very happy that he resigned. Susan felt that he should resign. And my client, who is the state trooper, who is mentioned in the New York Attorney General's report as being one of the victims, she felt that he did the right thing in resigning. So I think that is very important.
You know, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to his attorney. She spoke prior to the governor speaking, and she went woman by woman trying to discredit the allegations. And then we heard the governor come on and say, as Dan mentioned, you know, look, there are lines that were moved. I didn't realize it. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Was he trying to turn this on its tails and try to make him as the victim? And how does that sit with you?
It doesn't sit well at all. Right. He did talk about generational changes and cultural changes. And, you know, come on, he's a lawyer. He's the governor. He himself, in the last couple of years, has signed into law in New York new protections for victims of sexual harassment. He was aware of the law, bottom line. And, you know, the law reflects generational changes and cultural changes. He signed it. I'm sure as a former attorney general, which he was aware of what this law that he signed said. So that's just an excuse. It's an attempted justification for what he did, which was not respecting the boundaries of women, violating, according to the New York Attorney General, state and federal laws. And that, you know, as they say in the South, that dog won't hunt.
Yeah.
That is not going to be a sufficient excuse or justification for what he did.
Yeah, and so what comes next now is one of the big questions, right? We know he resigns in 14 days. You represent three of the clients. He went into great detail during his statement specifically about that state trooper saying he does not remember it and that he does believe her. What comes next in terms of a civil procedure? Are any of them looking to file civil complaints here?
Well, at this point, I have no comment on whether or not the state trooper will exercise any rights to file a civil lawsuit. But all I can say is, as to the other two clients that I represent, Susan and Sherry, they have no plans at this time to file a civil lawsuit. And we'll have to see what happens with the district attorneys, who, four of them from four different counties in New York, who are investigating whether or not a criminal case or criminal charges should be filed on behalf of any victim, and whether or not the district attorneys decide that they have sufficient evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Gloria, are criminal charges hard to come by? Because in instance of sexual harassment, a lot of times there are no photos, there are no recordings. It's kind of a he said, she said situation.
Well, it really depends on the case. And I mean, cases of sexual assault, whether they're in the workplace or not outside of the workplace, cases of rape, are often filed as criminal cases, even though no one else was there to witness it. So, for example, in the criminal case involving Harvey Weinstein, where I represented the key prosecution witness, Mimi, who alleged that he sexually assaulted her. No one else was in the room when he did it, just Mr. Weinstein and her. And yet he was convicted and sentenced to 20 years based on her charge. So there often is other evidence that can be presented, what we call outcry evidence, for example, telling other people about it shortly after it occurred, and maybe other evidence, sometimes IT evidence, from texts, from emails, from direct messages. So we shouldn't think that just because it seems to be a he said, she said, that no charges could be filed.
Right.
Okay. All right. There's still a lot to come, clearly. Thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I'm looking forward to the first woman governor of New York.
That's right, Kathy.
There you go. Making
We'll actually
history.
be hearing from her today. She's going to be speaking. Thank you.
Yes.
Take care, Gloria.
Thank you.